2023 Presidency, the shameful behaviors of Jonathan and Emefiele. Well, here's the award for the most disgraceful political behavior ahead of 2023. And the joint winners are Goodluck Jonathan, former president of Nigeria, and Godwin Emefiele, governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. Together, they are inducted into the political hall of shame for putting their political ambition above common decency and political decorum and insulting the intelligence of Nigerians. In any civilized democracy where the norms of political integrity and public ethics prevail, Jonathan and Emefiele will attract intense and sustained media criticism and public opprobrium. Consider how the British media and public unrelentingly hold their politicians and public figures to account, even for minor indiscretions. Yet, what Jonathan and Emefiele did are not minor indiscretions. They plumbed new depth into undermining integrity in public life, in damaging the fabrics of politics and democracy in Nigeria. The first step towards sanitizing politics and democracy in Nigeria is a critical mass of enlightened and active citizens who can act as a bulwark against bad political behaviors, who can swiftly reject ignoble political behaviors such as Jonathan and Emefiele displayed with impunity. Let's start with Jonathan. As a former president, he should show outstanding leadership in upholding and protecting the integrity of politics in Nigeria. Sadly, his recent political shenanigans undermine the development of politics and the party system in Nigeria. In truth, I've never been a fan of Jonathan. In a meritocratic society where politics is fairly competitive, he will not be mayor of a city like New York or London, but thanks to godfatherism and serendipity, he became president of Nigeria. He made a complete hash of the job and rightly suffered an unprecedented re-election defeat. However, utterly self-entitled and lacking self-awareness, he wanted to return to power. As if that wasn't bad enough, he wanted to do so by defecting from the party that made him what he is to be the party that unseated him from power and repudiated everything his government stood for. Last year, I wrote a piece titled "A Word for Jonathan. Decamp to APC and your reputation is in tatters." I argue that it would be morally repugnant and reputationally damaging for Jonathan to decamp from the People's Democratic Party (PDP), under which, without parallel, he was deputy governor, acting governor, deputy president, acting president, and president, the last of which gave him international platform and recognition. Let's face it, Jonathan owed PDP an apology because his appalling performance and perfidy damaged the party and cost it power in 2015. Some people say that Bola Tinubu, former governor of Lagos State and the Southwest, helped make General Muhammadu Buhari president in 2015, but that's not the whole story. True, Tinubu helped form the All Progressive Congress (APC) as a formidable opposition party, but the APC would not have won the 2015 presidential election if PDP had not imploded, thanks to Jonathan's woeful performance and his refusal to honor an agreement to serve only one term after winning the election in 2011, thus completing the second term of his joint ticket with President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, who died in office in May 2010. Let's forget. It was Jonathan's poor performance and his betrayal of an agreement to do only one term that turned prominent PDP politicians, including former President Obasanjo, against him. Imagine if he had voluntarily and in good faith stepped down for a popular PDP candidate from the north in 2015. The party might have kept the 8 northern states it won in 2011. And if it kept the 8 northern states in 2015, instead of losing 5 of them to APC, Buhari might not have become president despite the Southwest's vote. But Jonathan's insistence on running in 2015 forced several sitting and former PDP governors and countless other prominent members to decamp to APC or oppose his re-election, thereby destabilizing the PDP and helping the APC to win power. Yet instead of apologizing to the PDP and helping to rebuild the party, Jonathan was prepared to run against it as APC's presidential candidate in next year's election. That's the saga that has unfolded over the past few weeks with a fascinating chronology of events. First, on April 22, Jonathan told protesters urging him to run for the 2023 presidency, "The political process is ongoing, just watch out." Then on May 9th, a group of nomadic pastorals and Amajiris bought him APC's 100 million naira nomination forms. Jonathan disassociated himself from the group's actions, saying he didn't authorize them to purchase the forms for him. But after a 2-hour meeting with the Fulani group, he was considering doing a U-turn and accept their offer. On May 11, he held a closed-door meeting with APC's national chairman Abdullahi Adamu, reportedly telling him that he would run for president under APC if the party made him its consensus candidate. Yet, in the end, Jonathan did not submit to the presidential forms despite the extension of the deadline, reportedly because of him. Why? Well, we saw the handwriting on the wall. Without being a consensus candidate, he stood no chance of clinching the APC's presidential ticket. As some said, the former president just wants a coronation as the presidential ticket bearer, but APC wasn't willing to anoint him. Why would the APC make him a consensus candidate and risk its own implosion, its own conversion? Jonathan's political naivety is baffling. But the fact that Jonathan even considered running against PDP in the next year's presidential race was in itself the lowest depth of political immorality. If it was utterly unconscionable, well, inevitably, realpolitik kicked in, forcing him to ignominious retreat. You can't whitewash this. Even if you wanted to, it's total humiliation for the former president. Turning to Emefiele, well, the most striking thing about him is his sheer arrogance and self-indulgence. Despite constantly invoking God, he lacks sound judgment and moral rectitude. How could someone with 35 years of banking leadership not see the utter incongruence between being a sitting central governor and a presidential aspirant? In a piece titled 2023, Central Banker or Politician, Emefiele must decide what he is. I argue that Emefiele couldn't pursue this presidential ambition as a sitting CBN governor. Leaving aside his role in the management of Nigeria's economy, it's inappropriate for him to run for president as a sitting CBN governor, given the constraint of the CBN Act, the public service rules, and the fact that sensitive election materials are stored with the CBN. Yet, Emefiele was so determined to run for the 2023 presidency that he rushed to the court, seeking relief to join the contest for the APC's presidential ticket while serving as CBN governor. Well, on May 11th, President Muhammadu Buhari pulled the plug, ordering all federal political appointees with political ambitions to resign. That forced Emefiele into a humiliating climb down. He decided to cut his losses. He didn't want to lose his CBN job, so he abruptly dropped his presidential ambition, but not before sending a party shot to Nigerians. After a meeting with the president on May 12, Emefiele was asked about the anxiety his presidential ambition was causing among Nigerians. He replied, "Let them have a heart attack. It's good to have a heart attack. I'm having a lot of fun." How infantile. Truth is, Emefiele has been utterly compromised as CBN governor, being a registered member of a political party with non-political ambitions. Elsewhere, he won't keep the job. He must resign or be sacked. But here's the broader point. Left to their own devices, Nigerian politicians will push the boundaries of acceptable behaviors like Jonathan and Emefiele. They must be forced into retreats, however humiliating.